All right, welcome back here to the Hill on NewsNation. Did you happen to see this? The former president, Donald Trump, without even being in the room, raised over $2 million in a Washington, D.C. fundraiser headlined by his son, Don Jr. The fundraiser was attended by top Republican brass, including the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, the Republican senator from South Carolina, Tim Scott. Joining us now, someone who was in the room, friend of the show, former State Department spokesperson, Morgan Ortagus. Hello, Morgan. Nice to see you, as always. $2 million last night. Bring us inside the room. Who was there? What was it like?
Well, I guess I'm old enough now to be called top Republican brass, so I'm not sure whether I'm happy about that or not. Listen, it actually felt, Blake, like a family reunion in a good way. There were so many people that I worked with in the administration. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, not in D.C., so I haven't seen many of these people in years. And I think the key is, exactly as you said, the former president was not in the room. His son, Don Jr., and Kimberly Guilfoyle and other top, I think there was at least, I think it was reported almost 100 senators and members of Congress were there. So it was an incredibly well-attended show of support, and I think just really cements what happened this week. I know it's a crazy news week, but we did just have Super Tuesday 2 days ago. You had Nikki Haley drop out of the race, and I can't believe that happened 2 days ago. It feels like 2 weeks ago. And you had Mitch McConnell endorse former President Trump. That all happened this week, and it sort of culminated last night in this fundraiser that had top Republicans there.
How many Nikki Haley donors were there?
Well, listen, we need all of them because we are going to need every single vote in November. So, I don't know how many people donated to Nikki, but, President Trump, if he wants to get reelected, is going to have to win every Nikki voter. And guess what? A lot of people who voted for Biden in 2020 as well, who are disaffected, disillusioned by what they have to pay to fill up their gas tank and what they have to pay at the grocery store.
You are close to Nikki Haley. Where does all that stand right now? Are folks like yourself and folks who were donating her now all of a sudden saying, you know what? Time to fundraise for Trump?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think most of the Nikki supporters that were Republicans were Trump supporters as well. They just were looking for a change, making sure that we would take back the presidency. But I think Morgan's exactly right, is Trump needs every voter that he can get. But we have to remember it was 2 days ago. People that supported Nikki need to go through their little, stages of grief.
Right.
And
what
then
stage is it in right now of the 5?
Well, I mean,
somewhere between 1 and 2.
I think it's either between, if you're talking to Nikki or if you're talking to her donors. I mean, it is what it is. We've all been around this so long that it's politics, and you move on to the candidate that you support in your party if you want to. But what I'm saying is, people will come behind Trump. I talked to people in Massachusetts that were Nikki supporters and said, I never voted for Trump the last 2 times, but I will this time because even though it's not Nikki, I cannot have Joe Biden in the White House.
Morgan, you are close with Senator Katie Britt. I think she's a pretty good friend of yours. Big night for your friend, 42 years old. She is the youngest Republican woman ever elected to the Senate. She will give the Republican response tonight. So what happens is after the president speaks, I don't know, within minutes of that, you get the other side, in this case, Republicans, to respond. Republicans chose Katie Britt, senator from Alabama. What do you think we hear from Katie Britt tonight?
I'm really excited. I'm excited because Katie, listen, this is my girlfriend. And what you're going to see about Katie Britt is a generational difference between President Biden and Katie Britt, who's obviously, as you said, only 42 years old. Listen, the thing that I love most about Katie is, first and foremost, she's a mom, right? Like, she's the type of girlfriend that I could see at Target on the weekends or at the Publix grocery store in Alabama. Her kids come first, and that matters because I think what has happened so much is that people have gotten so out of touch in Washington, and I really noticed this, not living in D.C., living in the rest of the country. You get out of touch with, what happens in a recession or what happens whenever there's inflation. I talk about what it's like to fill up the gas tank or get groceries because it really matters to the rest of America. And so what you're going to see is a mom, the only mom with school-age children in the Senate, who's going to talk about things that moms, middle-aged moms just like me, just like her around the country, things that we care about, things that we're concerned about for our children. And I think it's going to be such a stark contrast in tone from the hopeful vision that Katie Britt is going to put out there, compared with what I heard earlier in your interview with the Biden administration, which their only strategy is just to scare everybody about Republicans, right? Because they can't run on really any accomplishments, so they're just going to talk really fast, be really aggressive. There's so much nervous energy coming from the Biden team. It kind of makes me sit back and laugh. You only have that kind of nervous energy when you're not confident in your candidate.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.